First question, Willie, you played Gary today in a match, and Australia hasn't got that much recognition overseas for this sport. How good was Gary?
I was surprised how good he was. His tactic was brilliant, and also his technique, and his incredible save with his goalkeeper really impressed me.
What about Gary compared to other players you've played in Europe? How does he compare?
He played a little different style. So that was the first time that somebody from Europe got in contact with Australia, with playing Subbuteo, and so it was new to discover a new world.
What about yourself? How did you discover the game?
It was 14 years ago when I bought this game, and I started with playing with friends, and then one day we discovered the national tournament, and so I got in and get more and more fun of it.
How does it compare to, say, outdoor soccer? Do you go through the same pre-match preparation? Do you prepare yourself mentally and physically for the game?
Yes, you should do that. It's not a physical question, but you have to think about that game, and also before playing to get sure about yourself and sure about your skills. So you have to prepare it, yeah.
What about your fingers? It's mainly a finger sport.
Yes, it's you see, you have to be very good to move. You have to move very hardly and to train much, so you get a good feeling in your finger with playing like that, very quickly.
Do you do exercises for your fingers before a game?
Yes, of course. You have to make certain stretching.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long for?
Oh, 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes.
Mm.
And how you've won a few European Championships, and you're the current world champion, and looking ahead to 1990, how do you fancy your chances of defending your crown?
It's quite difficult because in Europe there are a lot of good players, and I'm hoping to can qualify myself in Switzerland, so I'm able to play in Rome in 1990, but it's really difficult.
Thank you very much, Willie.
Thank you. You're welcome. I met them some Subbuteo friends, played
there.
In
Singapore?
In Singapore, yeah.
What, local people or European people?
No, local people, yeah.
How did they contact you?
I knew that they were there. I met them at the World Championship, and so my flight went to Singapore, stopped in Singapore, a week in Singapore, and meeting some friends.
And you came straight to Sydney?
Then, yes, I came straight.
So where do you go from here?
From here, I will go to Los Angeles to learn English over there, and before I will travel, isn't so good.
I've heard others that are nowhere near as good as this.
Thank you. Need it for business.
Yeah?
So I had to speak fluently and not to make too much mistakes. So I have to train myself in a school in 10 weeks, and after that months traveling around USA, I hope that would be enough.
What are you doing at... Hello? Okay. Gary, the competition you faced today, that's obviously the toughest you've ever faced, the world champion. How did you find it?
Oh, it's quite different, I guess, to playing the people I'm used to playing. A different style, a lot more precise. Very few actual curling flicks. It's predominantly straight, game. I guess a disadvantage for me is that I've never been under that sort of sustained pressure for the full game. Normally you can wander off for a little bit without really sort of getting punished. Some games you've got to watch yourself. But yeah, he just concentrates the whole time. The pressure's always there.
Was it as hard as you expected it would be?
Yeah, it was. It was as hard as I thought it would be. I sort of kind of approached the game thinking that I'd be my own worst enemy, that nerves would get to me, in the first half, and I was hoping that the score would be close at half-time and then I'd relax. That's what happened, but unfortunately the score wasn't as close at half-time as I would have liked it to have been.
And what about yourself? How long have you been playing the game for?
I've been playing for about the same length of time. I've been since about 72, 73. But I had about a 5-year break in there where studies and what have you stopped me from playing, which I regret. I wish I hadn't stopped. But
I've heard around the traps that a lot of people that play this sport are frustrated outdoor soccer players.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. I used to play a lot of soccer and played in the federation and stuff until injuries stopped me. So I mean, this is as close as I can get to glory, I guess.
Is it better than outdoor?
Less injuries, less pain.
What about your future? Where do you head in terms of trying to get a bit of stiffer competition overseas and so forth?
Well, you know, we're hoping that there's going to be a French team coming out at the end of the year, about 8 of them. So that'll be really interesting. We'll take them on in like a Davis Cup style thing with the top players from here. There's good players in Australia, but as I said, these tactics that have been introduced to us now, I think that will definitely make, you know, my life a lot harder in competition matches in the future. It's really sort of been an eye opener. But there's good skill in this here, but we lack that experience that say Willie's got.
What would you say to any youngster or anyone of any age that wanted to take up this sport? How would you sell it to them?
Well, I think if they love soccer, they love this because it's realistic. The rules are as closely adapted. It's exciting. You've got the sort of, I guess, the fantasy aspect. You can get any team in the world. You can play for Liverpool if you want to, Juventus or whatever. But I mean, basically, it's an exciting game that's skillful and tactical. And if you like, you know, playing skillful, exciting games, you love this. And if you want to improve, get a competition started with your mates or get in touch with the Australian Subbuteo Association and we'll help you, because that's the way you improve, by competing.
It's fine. Thank you, fellas. Good. Sorry. Flies under me. Joking. Stephen, the game itself, Subbuteo, how did it originate?
Well, it originated in England. It was invented by a chap who was an ornithologist, a bird fancier, and he wanted to call the name The Hobby, but the British Patents Office wouldn't let that, and so he decided that he'd name it after his favourite bird, which was the English hobby falcon, and the Latin name for that was Falco Subbuteo, and therefore he just took the Subbuteo, which is Latin, and hence the name was born, and that was the falcon head is the symbol of Subbuteo associations around the world.
What about yourself? You're heavily involved with the association, obviously in your capacity as secretary. Are the numbers increasing?
Every week we get new players, and our biggest problem though is to convince players who have the game to join the association to play competitively. That is where that's the way that you can enjoy the game more, is if you know the rules and play the game competitively. So we just want people to join.
What about the scoop, so to speak? You've got the world champion out here. That's incredible, really, for your association.
It was a real surprise when Willie said that he was interested to come, and as soon as I learnt that he was coming here, we put all our efforts into getting publicity for it, and I think that through this we'll hopefully get this, and that will be good for the game in Australia.
Fine, thank you.